Welcome, Paul, to another episode of Sonoma Voices. Paul, our usual guests are residents of Sonoma. What qualifies you to be invited today? And of course, thank you so much for making the time from your very, very busy schedule to be here with me. What qualifies you to be here is you are an investor in Sonoma. You're right now living half of the time in Utah, but you have a special office in Sonoma. I would like to introduce you as a Chief Executive Officer at Engel and Völkers of Gestalt Group. Can you please tell us about who are Engel and Völkers and what is a Gestalt Group?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure. And I think, as you know, I love Sonoma. I love wine country in Northern California. It's where my wife and I got married. Sonoma County is where I generally do my biking and free time. And of course, a little bit of wine drinking. And also, as you know, you have world-class dining right now, which I happen to love. But really, for me, my passion for Sonoma has been what kind of a community it represents, which really takes me back to who is Engel and Völkers and what does Gestalt Group mean for me. Engel and Völkers, founded in 1977 by Christian Völkers and Dirk Engels, was basically two people in Hamburg, Germany, that wanted to sell real estate with a focus on white glove service and really taking care of the community, which I think is a unique statement, even going back that far, because in today's real estate world, we see a lot of people have taglines like they're global, we're everywhere, we have white glove service. But going back to 1977, Engel and Völkers made it a core focus of their business. And it allowed them to expand in a way that the ultra high net worth clientele, or the more well-known clientele at the time, maybe Formula One car drivers, heads of company, heads of state, they really preferred doing business with Engel and Völkers. And that expansion first went to Mallorca, and then fast forwarding today is in 36 countries and over 1,300 offices globally. And I have the pleasure of being part of it. Back in 2014, I wanted to join as an agent in Park City with Engel and Völkers, and I left my other brand at the time was Sotheby's, and I really enjoyed the global brand that, for example, Sotheby's had to offer, and I really enjoyed the network that went with that. However, as I became more and more familiar with the Engel and Völkers brand, I realized that it was actually even more of a fit for the global networking that I was trying to do, traveling around the world at the time to grow my personal real estate brand. So I really took a plunge, and I was the first ski resort real estate agent in America for Engel and Völkers ever. And I was also the second agent in the West for Engel and Völkers. Sandra Miller in Santa Monica was first. And I took that chance. And what I didn't expect is how many people that I had worked with called me in the next few days to few weeks from my old company that wanted to join.
Wow.
So it went in my head overnight from being a company for myself to a company where I could actually create a network for my clients. And that's really what I had in mind. It was the idea was, okay, well, the very first additional office was in Lake Tahoe, and the second one was in Newport Beach. And the idea was, okay, I have clients that like to keep summer homes in Lake Tahoe. I have clients that live in Newport Beach, but they ski in Park City. So in my mind, I'm thinking, let's have a few agents in each of these markets that like to work with each other, because these were my friends, where we can actually create a network together and do some cross business. I had no idea it was going to grow as fast as it did, Nada. I just didn't see it coming. And the natural growth it was very fast. We were quickly in San Francisco just a couple months later in the Castro. That was one of our very first offices. And from there, within 2 years, I believe we were at 18 locations. And in that period of time, we had to form kind of a holding company that would manage these offices. And that's what Gestalt Group is. So Gestalt Group is Eileen, our CFO, and myself. I'm the principal owner and managing CEO. Eileen's our CFO. And so right now I own approximately 42 of these offices. We have approximately 900 agents right now, advisors, as we call them at Engel and Völkers. And so the majority of the Western United States is under the Gestalt Group brand of Engel and Völkers, which the entire goal there is to take an amazing brand such as Engel and Völkers and make sure that we, the owners, are offering additional services to you, the advisors, to help you additionally service your clients at the highest level possible. In today's world, technology changes by the minute. Marketing has gotten a lot more complicated than just throwing something in a newspaper, magazine, or an MLS, because now you have Instagram, YouTube. Let's not go into even TikTok and all the new stuff that's coming. It's complicated. So I have wanted to really expand an agent's reach into what is here versus what is coming, so that we can stay ahead of the curve and have the messaging that our clients would expect. Because even though we might not be on TikTok, one of our clients might be. So the idea behind Gestalt Group is to create the staff, the marketing, the training, and the support for you to be able to better get into those communities. And, just to sum up, Sonoma for me is to me exactly what Engel and Völkers, that's the kind of community that Engel and Völkers really wants to be part of.
Just answered my next question. I also came from the same company 5 years ago, and it was at the time when nobody knew how to pronounce Engel and Völkers in Sonoma, and I didn't know anything about this. What happened halfway through my interview, I heard 3 core values: competence, exclusivity, and passion. And I heard the story about the dream, and that just did it for me. When I joined, it was the beginning of COVID, or a little bit before, or you were traveling, you were not able to come to our office. You addressed us agents via video. And I remember telling us how to approach our business and how to focus exclusively on giving white glove service to our clients. I saw a little tear in your eye. I really recognized the passion behind this. Touched my heart. And at that point, I knew I was in the right group. I was in the right team. I was at home. Since then, we have an office at Sonoma Square, and I am here every day on the ground, on the streets, talking with sellers and buyers. It started from my very first listing. I had a listing here down the street, bed and breakfast chalet. It's a historic bed and breakfast from turn of a century. I rolled out all my signs and everything. Agents are coming in on a broker's tour. And I heard from a couple of agents, I don't know about this company, but something so beautiful, bright, and something luxurious about this company. Since then, these 2 people joined us. Since then, public know about who we are. When they ask me who do you work with or who do you work for, Engel and Völkers, they, I know, this is this beautiful white office at the square of Sonoma. It just warms my heart. I was going to ask you, I think you just answered that question. What about these three core values and the dream from two young men from 1977 is so Sonoma? I would say it is so Sonoma, the dream and the core values. If you can address this, if you didn't
Sure.
so far.
No, one of the things that I have fallen in love with about Engel and Völkers is that it really understands what it means to say we are a lifestyle brand. And what that means to me is that sometimes clients move because of a divorce, and sometimes clients move because of debt. Sometimes clients buy and sell homes because of a job. But every now and then we're lucky enough to work with the clients that buy and sell homes because they go where they want to be. They're picking an area where they have passion for, where they have a passion for the people, for the scenery, the beauty, and in most cases, the culture of that area. Where for me, Sonoma is a place that you choose to go to, and it's a place you would choose to go to because, as I mentioned earlier, the dining, the wine, the amazing weather, the beautiful rolling hills, these are things that throughout the world, these are rare places where you just have this perfect combination of being close to a city, being close to water, being close to a ski area, but having all of this in the middle. It is such a unique, rare opportunity. And I honestly believe Sonoma is still a secret to a lot of people. The big brother Napa, everyone knows Napa, of course, but Sonoma County and Sonoma is one of those places where I think every time somebody discovers it, they feel like they found something nobody else knows, and they don't want to let the secret out. And to me, as I travel throughout Europe and I watch what Engel and Völkers has built, that's really kind of the foundation that I see is Christian Völkers really has doubled down that competence, exclusivity, passion, white glove service attitude into a way that he wants to find advisors that will be part of a community and not just try to take from the community. So rather than just saying, hey, give me your commission, give me your listing, it's more of like, hey, there's a local coffee shop opening up. How do we help them? How do we help the local art gallery? Let's do our next event with that art gallery so that we can create more exposure for their exhibition, and not doing it in a way of what's in it for us. And I believe that is something that translates to a community like Sonoma, especially on the square, more so than maybe if we were going into a big city. And so I have watched those kind of communities be areas where Engel and Völkers has grown the fastest, because it really does remind me of what I've experienced in Europe, where Engel and Völkers has been for 45 years, where they truly are already kind of very immense in that they're deep in the community ties. And I think that's something that I strive for in Sonoma. That's an area that I think our clients that get to choose where they want to live, they will want to know about Sonoma.
This is what I was thinking when I came up with this question. The dream, Sonoma is the dream. Sonoma is people's dream. They come here after they retire or whenever they can because they discovered Sonoma and they want to be here. One of our agents in our office said, oh, I lived in New Jersey, and when I was a kid, I came here with my parents for a vacation. I said, this is where I want to be. By the way, being with a community, during the Halloween, a couple of us from the office opened the office and gave out candies and wine to parents. So there was a big event in the Sonoma Square. Everybody was giving out candies. Well, we were treating parents. Oh, it was so fun. They were like, what? We're getting something also? Well, let's do this. Music, candy, wine. It was wonderful. The same with Thanksgiving, Christmas. Well, our farmers market, I believe, is one of the 10 top farmers markets in the nation. So we go open our doors, we go there, give out wine, and the whole Sonoma shows up. 11,000 people show up on the lawn. And why wouldn't we be there to celebrate life and Sonoma lifestyle with them? Thank you for opening the office in Sonoma at the square. It was a fabulous idea. So I also have a question. If you can tell us, what is your insight about the real estate market coming up in the next year, 2023?
I think a lot of it is going to be decided by our government this year. Inflation is a real thing, and it generally happens in war times. When there is a war such as what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, that puts pressure on our supply chains, as we know at this point. And so the cost of goods skyrockets, and certainly not just the United States. All of Europe is experiencing this in probably an even worse way than we are from what I've learned. And I think that is finally starting to balance. And because of that, I think our government has really wanted to, our Fed specifically, has really wanted to kind of raise rates at a rapid rate to slow down buying, to get things under control so that we can really keep this from getting even more out of control, to prevent what happened in the early 80s, for example. And I think that although it's been painful, it's actually working. That's my personal opinion right now, is that if you really look at where the stock market is right now, it's pretty close to an all-time high. And real estate prices, although they have come down in some areas, they are still pretty close to all-time highs. Inventory remains tight, and interest rates have been coming down. And I think specifically today, there's another announcement, and I believe that it'll be a softer rate increase, and that will cause interest rates to come down even further, because interest rates are artificially high right now because banks didn't know how far the Fed would go. So they had to kind of bake in on a long-term mortgage a factor that would protect them. And as that recedes, you're going to see interest rates come back down to a rate where people feel comfortable buying homes. And the downer is we don't have a lot of inventory still. So that does not necessarily mean 2023 is going to have a lot of transactions like we had in 20 and 21. However, it can easily mean that it's something similar to 2018 and 19. So my prediction is first quarter is going to remain tight. And as we go into the spring, I think you're going to see more people saying, okay, I'm ready to sell. And that'll put more inventory on the market and more transactions. And it'll just keep ramping up just a little throughout the year. So certainly better than the last 6 months has been. A little bit more of a balanced market, which we're not used to seeing. We're usually really crazy busy or much slower. So a balanced market will be something that we should cherish and enjoy. Yeah. So those agents that are able to communicate all of this best to their clients, that really get educated on what is happening economically and are able to help their clients make the best possible decisions, I think we'll actually have a pretty good year.
Fantastic. Better times are coming.
GG.
I want to mention that our fabulous Engel and Völkers company has this luxurious magazine that comes quarterly. This one just came from Germany a couple of days ago. I jumped on this immediately. GG stands for Global Guide, showcases beautiful homes that we sell all over the world, some fashion, some articles, interviews with interesting personalities. We have them in our office. I have them in my home. If you live in Sonoma, if you're visiting Sonoma, stop by, reach out. It's easy to find me. I have one copy for you.
I love
I'm telling this to tourists and locals. Thank you so much, Paul, for taking your time and joining, sharing all this excitement with us. Thank you for being a guest of our fabulous podcast, Sonoma Voices. Hope to see you soon and have a fantastic holidays, happy and healthy holidays to you and yours.
Thank you for the invite. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.